get to take your boat out, your canoe out, and go duck hunting. I haven't done that in a while, and it's not easy. So, take your bow and arrow and your canoe and go out into the water and go way past and back. Once again, Goosegabi didn't think it was such a great idea, but Grandmother Woodchuck had spoken, and so he pulled the canoe out, he got into it, and he started heading towards the marsh area where he could flesh out some ducks. So he gets a little closer, he stands up and he makes a noise, and the ducks would come up out of the grasses, and he gets his bow and arrow, and he's getting ready to shape it and shoot when the canoe starts wavering, and he falls back, and he misses the shot. Oh, he said, "I win." But he's not giving up. So he tries again, and he goes around to the other side, flushes the birds out, stands up, trying to shoot, and here comes the wind, and it blows the canoe so back and forth so much that it turns over, and his Goosegabi lands in the water. Now he is not happy. Gets back into the canoe, and he quickly paddles back to Grandmother Woodchuck's lodge. He comes storming in, and he said, "Grandmother, what makes the wind?" And she said, "Oh, Goosegabi, what do you need to know things like that? The wind is the wind. But I want to know, where can I find the wind?" Now, Grandmother Woodchuck understood that when Goosegabi got like that, the only way that he could learn would be the hard way. So she said, "Just go outside, hold up your face, and if the wind is blowing against your face, walk in that direction. That's where you will find the wind." So Goosegabi goes out, he feels the wind across his face, and he starts heading in that direction. And he walks, and he walks, and he walks. And he walks until he comes to this mountain, this great hill. And on top of this mountain is a bird flapping his wings. It is windy. So Goosegabi starts climbing up the mountain. The wind is so strong, it really starts blowing him. Blowing his hair, blowing his clothes. And the closer he gets to the top, the wind is so strong, it just about blows his clothes off. "Grandfather," he says, "Grandfather!" And Wendy stops flapping his wings and looks down. "Who calls me grandfather?" "Oh, Grandfather, it is I, Goosegabi. I wanted to tell you what a wonderful job you're doing, making the wind. But I was thinking, what about if you went over to that other mountain, and you were quiet for a while, and then you flapped your wings?" "Oh, Goosegabi, that sounds like a wonderful idea, but there's no way that I can get over to that other mountain." "Oh, don't worry about that," said Goosegabi. "I'll take you over there. Just wait a minute." And he runs down the mountain, and he gets some twine that he makes quickly himself to make a tumbler. And he runs back up, and he said, "Here, Grandfather, I'm going to put you on my back. Just hop on." But the funny thing is, the way that Goosegabi puts Grandfather Eagle on his back is upside down and swings him on. Grandfather is not too happy about this, but there's not much that he can do. But anyway, Goosegabi manages to get him on his back. He ties him on firmly, and he starts going back down the mountain. And then he goes across to the other side. And going up this mountain, there's a big crevice. And he has a terrible idea. He drops Grandfather Eagle head first down into this big crevice. And then he runs away. And he runs back, not into Grandmother Woodchuck's lodge, because he's not sure how she'll feel about this. He just gets back into his canoe and starts paddling and thinks, "Oh, this is more like it. There's no wind to disturb my duck hunting." And so he's going around, getting closer to the marsh, and then he notices that the water is getting this yucky, green, slimy stuff on top of the water. And everything is so quiet. And there are these strong, very repugnant odors and smells and everything. Oh, this is terrible. So he goes back to Grandmother Woodchuck because she seems to know everything. Maybe she can tell him what is happening. Why is the water changing? And what are those awful smells? And it's so still. Grandmother, he says, he goes bursting into the lodge. Grandmother, he says, I don't understand what's happened to the water. It is so still. And there's green, slimy stuff that's growing on it. And the smells, they're awful. Oh, Scabby, what did you do this time? Nothing, Grandmother. I just found Wendigo and I tied him up and I dumped into a crevasse on the other side of the mountain. Scabby, you can't do those things. When will you learn? Scabby didn't even wait to hear a rest of what she was saying. He ran back to that mountain in that deep crevasse where he had dumped Grandfather Woodchuck. And he called out, Grandfather! Grandfather! It's I. It's I. Oh, said Wendigo. Would you help me? I'm not very comfortable here. A crazy naked man dropped me down in here, and I can't get out. Oh, I'll pull you out. And he pulled and he pulled and got him out. And he got him back up to the top of the mountain where he was. And he said, Grandfather, I'm so sorry. But you know, I think we need to test your manners. There's sometimes, you know, when you should slap them hard. And there's sometimes when you should rest. And there's sometimes when you should just slap them a little bit. You know, just pace yourself. I understand, nephew. I understand what you're saying. And I think that's a good idea. And that's what I will do. And that's the way that it has been from that time until this. Wendigos can sometimes be very curious. Sometimes he's very gentle. Like now. And that is that story. And so it is.